Hello, everybody. We are on air now. Let me welcome all of you for this last, I would say, technical session of Asian Metallurgy, 12th Asian Metallurgy. Before we come to the session, I would like to briefly describe or I would like to brief about the Asian Metallurgy show. As many of you know, Asian Metallurgy show started in 1997 as a ground exhibition. We used to conduct it at Nehru Center and later on in BEC Goregaon. It was basically a ground exhibition coupled with the conference. Uh, uh, till COVID, it was a ground exhibition. After COVID, we transformed all our shows, including this show, into digital format. And since 2021, we are doing Asian Metallurgy in digital format. The format of Asian Metallurgy in digital way is that there is a virtual exhibition which anybody from anywhere in the world can have access and visit. And it is coupled with a number of various webinars dealing in different issues related to steel and metals industry. Like on the first day on 18th, we discussed the future of auto industry. Then we also discussed digitalization. We discussed the green steel making subject. We discussed the future of zinc in the industry applications. We also discussed the future of foundry industry in India. So likewise, we are discussing various issues, various subjects, various metals or various sub sectors in under the umbrella of metallurgy. And today we are discussing also a very important subject. We have been hearing such words like digitalization, green steel making, and also sustainability for the last few years. So, everybody knows a bit about it, but let us discuss it very thoroughly. Let us discuss it with the experts in the field. Let us discuss it with the people who have implemented these sustainability measures in their respective companies and which have led this sustainability drive, I would say, in one way, in their respective companies. So let me introduce these experts to you. First, I would welcome Mr. Sanjiv Paul. Sanjeev has more than 37 years of experience, 20 of which in senior leadership and board positions in Tata Steel and its group companies, both in manufacturing and services sector. He has proven track record of driving change and innovation across sectors. He was an integral part of Tata Steel's senior leadership team when it became one of the 9 Indian companies to make it to 2022 Fortune Global 500 list. He had the distinction of leading one of the most reaching and impactful change program, Total Operation Enhancement Program, TOP, at Tata Steel between 1998 and 2001. This program yielded rich dividends and became a mainstay of all future improvements initiatives in Tata Steel to improve company's cost structure, quality, and productivity. Sanjeev was one of the youngest managing director of Tata Steel subsidiary companies when he was chosen to lead Tata Steel's foray into services sector with Jamshedpur Utilities and Services Company, commonly known as JUSCO, now Tata Steel Utilities and Infrastructure Services Limited in 2002. He led the company with distinction of for 7 years, during which period it broke many new grounds. JUSCO was the first company to win parallel power distribution license in the district of Saraikela in 2006. JUSCO made a mark for itself by winning many contracts and concessions in the water services arena across India and won many reputed national as well as international awards and recognition in its pioneering contribution. And he has been a vice president dealing in sustainability and just retired few months back. Welcome, Mr. Sanjeev, to this discussion, and thanks for sparing your time. And
Thank you so much, Chandekar. Thank you.
yes. And another gentleman we have is Mr. Vivek Agrawal. He is serving Godawari Power and Ispat Ltd as Chief Operating Officer since 2012. Mr. Agrawal having total 30 years rich experience in iron and steel industry. Before joining Hira Group, he served in Jindal Steel and Power. Uh, Before joining Hira Group, he was in Jindal Steel and Power Limited for a duration of 22 years. Very long innings, sir, in JSPL also. At JSPL, he had been instrumental in commissioning and successfully establishing 350 TPD and 500 TPD DRI plant at 100% level and in most cost-effective and environment-friendly manner. He also successfully commissioned DRI plant at Monet Ispat Limited in 1993. He had been a person who thrust on safety, environment, and greenery for ultimate productivity and performance, as he believes safe and clean working environment keep keep people's morale high and helps in striving for peak performance. Innovations and creativity are his biggest tool. He had been one of the key players in the vertical growth of JSPL during 1990 to 2012. He also got the opportunity to render his services to MTPA Midrex plant at Jindal's Shadid, Muscat, Oman. He got many prizes from Mr. Naveen Jindal and also at national and international level for his innovative and creative working at JSPL. So, Mr. Agrawal, thank you very much for joining us and thanks for sparing your time. Welcome. Yeah. So, my first actually question is what we understand by sustainability. Can I ask you, Mr. Sanjeev? Can we start with you?
Yeah, partner. So, Ganesh, whilst we are on a podcast which is being aired and it will become a record, I would request you to call me Sanjeev. I find it very odd when you call me Mister. We go
Okay.
back some 40 odd years, so we know each other from
Yeah.
that time. So, Ganesh, so sustainability is a jargon that I also came across just maybe 2 decades ago. For a long time to us and in the corporate world, it meant CSR activities. And gradually the meaning changed. And it has now been understood as the ability to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their need.
Okay.
So it is not just environment, it is also social, it is also economic. So you would have heard of the 3 Ps: people, profit, planet. So sustainability operates at the intersection of these three for the corporates.
Mhm.
So we have heard a little bit more about it in the recent, let us say, decade or so, more because of what is happening with respect to climate. We'll talk about it as we go forward in this podcast. But to my mind, this is the common understanding of what sustainability is.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Sanjeev. Vivek ji, what do you understand by sustainability? How do you perceive sustainability?
Yeah, sir. Based on my experience in the industry for more than 3 decades, I'll be having more practical just light on this. To me, sustainability is all about whatever plan arrangement we are doing to do the business. We have to not only survive, rather we have to excel. So that at all point of time, we should be in the top 5 in our profile of operation. There should not be any point of time where we feel that either we are out of business or we may have fear of throwing out. So, like we have seen the case of Bhushan, Monet, Modi's, Mittals. So, because I don't think they were having any vision to excel in the business, and their thought process were different. That's why they could not sustain. And at the same time, you see the case of Jindals or like Tata's, maybe or Hira Group. Their vision is different. They are more you see, more cited and more focused about the growth. And once you are more focused about the growth, definitely, first thing you will not only survive, rather you will also exceed. If you target excellence in all your profile of operation. So that is my practical thought process.
Yeah, I understand, but I think, sir, sustainability is a bit different animal, no? Than only growth. yes, growth should be there, but it should be a sustainable growth. That means,
Yeah, it should be a sustainable growth. You have to always look into what is happening outside, how we should do better, how we should compete in this challenging environment. What all initiative we have to take, like now everybody is talking about green steel. Some organizations are sleeping, some organizations are going far ahead. So the organization who are taking this green steel, green power concept very seriously, definitely for them, sustaining is very easy. While the organization who are not concerned, they may not be able to sustain. So it
so
is about the dynamic leadership of the management.
yeah, so you
How
are
they drive. Like Jindal's JSW is talking about 1,000-ton hydrogen transporting from Rajasthan to their this Dolvi and Tornagalu plant.
yeah.
So it's about meeting the requirement of the time in challenging environment. Yeah.
Maybe taking advantage of the technology, taking advantage of the new concepts in the steel
Correct.
making and
Correct. New
processing.
technology, new thought process, new concept. When the prime minister of country speaks about net zero, so we have to think in the same line. What he speaks, each and every word is important. If he talk that we will be net zero by 2070, so it's not his duty to become net zero. Now entire industry, entire this businessman, they have to think what we can do to meet the vision of the prime minister. So we have to be proactive. We have to always keep on exploring how this person is confident to be net zero. What all people are doing outside the country, what Europe is doing to get 1.95 CO2 emission, and India, why it is 2.6. Right? We have to align his thought process with the industry.
Okay, okay. Sanjeev, I think Tata Steel
Then,
was,
as a country, as an
yeah,
industry,
yeah,
everything can be.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Thanks, Vivek ji, for your opening comment. Sanjeev, I was telling you that Tata Steel was one of the first companies to understand the importance and relevance of sustainability in the business. So, what I think now coming to why sustainability and what is the what is the I would say mindset and what is the thinking behind these sustainability measures. We'll come to these sustainability measures later, but I would like to understand the mindset and the thinking behind going for sustainability as a journey.
So, Ganesh, thoda sa I'll go a little bit philosophical here. Why
Absolutely.
sustainability?
This subject is like that. It has to have a philosophical foundation.
So, people, as I spoke about earlier, the three P's: people, profit, planet.
Yes.
So, when people think sustainability is sustainability of the planet, then there is, when I was with Tata Steel, I used to explain this to people, and I would request your indulgence for maybe a few minutes.
Please
See,
go ahead.
We'll go back many years, not just millions of years, but billions of years. This universe came into existence with a Big Bang, some 13.8 billion years ago. 9 zeros to a billion, right? Our solar system came into existence some 5 billion years ago, right? The first evidence, and our Earth is part of that solar system. So I'm talking sustainability of the planet. That is how we come to the planet.
Yes.
Our planet is part of the solar system.
Yes.
Life appeared first as a very small microorganism, single cellular cell, some 3.7 billion years ago. And it is Earth, Mother Earth, this planet, which could host this life, and this life evolved into what we see around.
Yes.
Took 3.7 billion years. Why Earth could sustain life? Because Earth is a unique planet. It is the only planet in the entire known universe, underline known, which hosts life. Why can it host life? One of the primary reasons is the conditions that exist on Earth. It sustains water in the liquid form. There is no other planet or no other celestial body in the world or in the universe that we know which hosts water in the liquid form. It is at the right distance from the sun. It is an environment. It is at a magnetic field which prevents harmful magnetic radiations from the sun, and various other reasons, the right chemical carbon and hydrogen and oxygen, which sustains life.
Yeah.
Right? In spite of all of this, the first evidence of humans that appeared on Earth is some 3 to 4 million years ago. So billion se million pe aa rahe hain.
Yeah.
3.7 billion years before wo single cellular mila. It took billions to reach, the Homo habilis kind of a species. Homo sapiens, our precursors, appeared on this planet only 200 to 300,000 years ago. And in the last, and for the next thousands of years, हम लोग भी as foragers घूमते थे इस earth के ऊपर. Till some 50,000 years ago, mankind discovered language. That was a game changer. We don't know what happened. Why only it dawned only on mankind? हम बाकी जानवरों की तरह घूमते थे for thousands of years. But it is only mankind who Homo sapien, who understood the importance and could invent language. And the last 50,000 years has seen unprecedented growth at a asymptomatic kind of a range. If you look at the entire gamut of time since 13.8 billion years, it is the last 50,000 years. And in fact, if you look at just the last 200 odd years, this growth has been rapid.
Phenomenal.
The world has not been as rich as it has ever been. The population of Homo sapiens on this earth is unprecedented.
Yeah.
We are around 8 billion people. Just around 300 odd years ago, we were not even 1 billion.
Yeah.
So there has been a great acceleration around us, and we have not really been conscious. We are like frogs in the pan. We are not feeling the temperature going up. This great acceleration, we are not feeling. It is not the socioeconomic things that have grown. The world GDP has grown. Okay, life expectancy, which in the beginning of the century was just 30-40 years. Today, in India itself is around 75 years.
Yes.
US and China are 80 plus. So these are the kind of changes that have happened. Similar changes have happened in the Earth systems also because of that. Carbon dioxide, which is the greenhouse gas, nitrous oxides, methane, these levels have also grown at an unprecedented level. Carbon dioxide, which used to be just 280 parts per million before industrial revolution, some 250, 300 odd years ago, is today at around 420 ppm. The world has not seen this kind of carbon dioxide, this kind of greenhouse gas in the environment. And this is causing climate change. This is causing global warming. And scientists believe that 2 degrees centigrade rise beyond the industrial times, the industrial revolution time, which is 300 odd years ago, will be catastrophic because that will start a series of irreversible kinds of changes, like the glaciers melting, sea levels rising, acidification of the sea, severe heat waves, the various kinds of climatic changes that we are seeing around us. At 2 degrees centigrade, those will become irreversible. We will not be able to go back to. That is what is causing the concerns in the mind of the scientists, that there is something seriously going wrong. And they have reasons to be worried because they know that the world, this earth, has seen 5 mass extinctions already. Starting from 440 million ago, the first mass extinction is recorded. A mass extinction is an event when more than 50% of the flora and fauna, different species of Earth, go extinct in a very short geological period of time.
Oh.
5 such events have happened, including the one which is just 67 million years ago when the dinosaurs got extinct.
Okay, okay.
The scientists believe that we are in the middle of the 6th mass extinction.
Okay. So equidistant from fourth and like
that's right. They believe we are in the midst of the 6th mass extinction, and this is reason for them to worry. And that is why the subject of climate change, biodiversity change, the subject of sustainability has grown this kind of value.
Okay.
And that is why, since you asked me why sustainability, so I have gone this deep to explain
absolutely.
why sustainability has suddenly become so important.
Yes, yes. You have really given us a fantastic preview of what all things go in the thinking when we say sustainability. Okay, go ahead.
So just, the punchline here is not sustainability of the planet. So when we are worried about sustainability of the planet, that is not what scientists are worried about. They are worried about sustainability of life as we know it on this planet. The planet is sustainable. For last 4.5 billion years, it has been sustainable. It has seen 5 mass extinctions. You and I will come and go. The planet will remain. So worry about life as we know it on this planet and its sustainability, not sustainability of the planet.
Absolutely, absolutely. Correct. So that is the thinking, in going in for sustainability efforts at even industry level or at even individual company level, right? Correct?
I've lost you, Gary.
No, yeah. No. I'm saying that is the thinking behind going for sustainability efforts in any industry or for that matter, any individual company. So now coming to the sustainability part in any individual company, Vivekji, what are the sustainability efforts at in your company, and how do you take the go in the journey of sustainability?
Sir, I'm talking about industry only.
Yeah,
When we say sustainability in industry, it's different from sustainability in totality, because industry is more.
I understand.
Yeah. So main thing in industry, the awareness at all level plays very, very big role. If there will not be awareness, then people will not act in the direction in which they should act. Top to bottom, people have to awareness. Then a lot of new technologies are coming, like we are in the stage of green steel. So we have to see how we can get the technology which can help us in making green steel. And before this, there are two other weapons, that is the energy efficiency, raw material selection, because I think 5 to 10% improvement can be done in efficiency with awareness and with initiatives. And raw material also plays very big role. If people use better quality of raw material, high FC coal, high Fe iron ore, then it will also improve in reduction of waste, because using inferior raw material also lead to higher consumptions. Maybe your raw material consumption, your energy consumption, your waste generation is also high. So these are areas to look into how we can improve our performance, how we can minimize the waste, how we can reduce waste generation, how we can reuse these waste, how we can recycle these waste, how we can do the innovation in the plant, how we can compare our performance with the top 5 plant in our profile of operation, right? What are the international and global benchmarking? What are the delta? What are the gaps? So, but this needs effort at all level. from top to bottom, people have to be in the same mode. Everybody had to synchronize. And ESG is playing very, very important role, environment, social, and governance. Now, companies are bound to implement ESG as per SEBI guidelines. It has become mandatory. So these are the tools which can help us in not only sustaining, rather excelling and being one of the best perform plant in terms of CO2 emission, in terms of energy consumption, in terms of performance, in terms of productivity, in terms of profitability, in terms of return to the shareholders. These are the areas where a lot of scope is there. And if we have that support and freedom, which normally I think at key positions it is there, definitely it's a time to look into and not only sustain, rather do better than what we are doing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your detailed answer. Sanjeev, what are the steps in Tata Steel? What were the steps in Tata Steel? What you conceived as sustainability? How?
Sorry,
I'm
sir.
sorry, Ganesh, your voice is breaking. My signal is weak, or I
Yeah,
don't know what.
Yeah,
पूरा सुनाई नहीं दे रहा.
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
a minute, hold on. Sorry.
yeah,
Can you
yeah.
hear
Just
me?
to add,
Just
one
a
more
minute, just a
thing.
minute. Sanjeev, Vivek ji wants.
Vivek, are you experiencing the same problem?
No,
No,
it's okay. It's very
we are
smooth.
all okay. Yeah, your
Yeah.
So the
connection.
problem is at my end then.
Yeah, yeah.
In
Anyway,
if I talk very specifically about Godawari Power, our
uh,
company, we are aggressively going in solar, and almost by the end of 2024, our 50% power generation will be renewable, will be green power.
okay.
So half of the power will be green power, and whatever 50% will be there, we are going to see whether that 50% which is coming from fossil fuel, if we can stop that power generation, so definitely we can say we will be 100% green power. Once we are 100% green power, our CO2 emission will be at par with the European norm of 1.95. Today it is around 2.6. And it is mainly because our power generation is through coal route, thermal power route. So that is one thing. Second, our is the only plant in the entire world, I will say, where we are making iron ore pellet of 66.5. No one in the country and outside the country is consistently making pellet of 66.5 and gang of around 4%. So in that way, we have improved the quality. As a result, our yield, which is you can say directly slag generation, has reduced from 25% to 15%. That's the second thing. Third, we are only using 100% imported coal. As a result, our coal consumption, which was around 1.5, it has reduced to 0.75. So naturally, three things are there for CO2 emission. One is coal, one is your power, and second is oil. We do not use any oil. Coal we have reduced to half. Power we are going to be 100% that green power.
Yeah.
So we can say the carbon border adjustment mechanism which is coming, where
Yeah.
government is going to put under CBAM carbon tax on the delta of CO2 emission against European standard. So I think we can say we are the only going to be the only company in the country immediately on immediate basis where there is no carbon tax will be put, right? So these are the initiative which we have taken. So in that way, we can say we are going to not only survive, rather we are going to do much better as a part of sustainability.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you. I think
Yeah.
CBTM they have just proposed. No, it has not come into existence. It will come into
So
existence
it has not come to an existence, but we
post
are
2026 or 27. Isn't it, Sanjeev?
yeah.
Yeah,
They have just
that's right.
they have just proposed. It has not come into existence.
No, but the
It has not come
mechanisms
into
have been laid
existence.
into place, have been put
Yes.
into place. They have
Yes.
to give this kind of time
Yes.
to the rest of the industry, society, etc., to be get accustomed to these new rules. So that is why this kind of
I
time is
guess
given.
so.
But
Yes.
it is a reality. It is going to happen.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Coming to Tata Steel, Sanjeev, what measures or how is the journey? Under you were in charge of sustainability only. So how was the sustainability going on in your organization under your leadership?
So, Ganesh, I'm no longer with Tata Steel.
I know that.
Not right for
Till
me
till
to be,
last few months you
but
were there.
yeah, I'll speak about what we had done whilst I was there.
Please.
So, as you rightly mentioned, Tata Steel was one of the early birds as far as sustainability is concerned, because we realized the direction in which the world was going in.
Yes.
And steel is a highly carbon-intensive industry.
Yes,
we emit a lot of carbon emissions. So for us, the transition to a lower carbon intensive kind of a process or zero carbon intensive process is going to be something which is going to be a necessity. So for us, the transition is going to be existential. So it's whilst we are part of the third world, we have also said that we will, as a country, become net zero by 2070. So it gives us a little bit of breathing space, especially when a time then India is the only economy in the world which is growing at an unprecedented rate. Our steel capacity, which is today at around 120, 130 million tons, is expected, and a lot of think tanks have, it is their research that I'm seeing, including international energy agencies, that we will be around 400 to 450 million tons of steel capacity, steel making capacity by 2050.
Okay.
So again, this is an unprecedented rate again.
Yes.
I've used this word unprecedented a lot many times, but that is what sustainability is all about.
Yes.
Things which are happening at a speed which they haven't happened for a long time. And this is what is going to happen in the coming time. And if we put in these assets which are carbon intensive, steel is a highly capital intensive industry. It takes $1 billion to put up 1 million tons of steel capacity. So Tata Steel realized much too early that for us, the transition is going to be critical, and we need to understand what the subject is all about. And that is why we set up the sustainability division. And I had the good fortune of leading it for some time. One of the first things that we understood is that we have to give the confidence to our stakeholders that we are interested and we mean business as far as sustainability is concerned. And to do that, we needed to chart a course to net neutrality by mid-century. So we devised our pathways and the scenarios which would lead us to those pathways. Maybe 2 odd years ago, got it approved by the board and announced it to the public. So a listed company, especially the kind of company that we as a group are, once we have announced it, we put our money where our mouth is. So we have announced that Tata Steel will be net carbon neutral by 2045.
Okay.
So the ball has been set rolling, the direction has been set, and the strategy has been put in place. So this has begun. We have decided to get on with it in 3 different phases.
This was in what year? This was in what year?
2 years ago.
Okay.
2021 के middle में कभी हम लोगों ने announce किया. ये 22 में announce किया, I'm forgetting.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So we have decided to do, we strategized to do it in 3 phases. The first phase would be to improve efficiencies of the current assets. Okay, because the deep decarbonization technologies are not as yet mature. The technology readiness level for technologies to get implemented is supposed to be around 8, 9 and above. Most of the deep decarbonization technologies are at 4 or 5. So it will take some time to get mature. It will take some time to become economically viable, including green hydrogen-based DRI. It is not as yet economically viable in the current systems. So the first phase, which is going to last till 2035 odd, would be looking at material and energy efficiency improvement with current assets. Gradually, we will be moving towards lower carbon intensive technologies, which is scrap-based steel making. which is DRI based with natural gas, not hydrogen as yet. Till hydrogen becomes viable. Today, hydrogen is at around $6 to $7 USD per kilogram.
Okay.
And we believe that unless it comes down to less than 2, around 1.5 odd, with a carbon price of around $40 to $50 per ton of carbon dioxide, it will not be viable for steel makers to invest in deep decarbonization technologies. And this, we think, will happen post 2030, 35. Right? And one of the most important lever that we have in this pathway is carbon capture and utilization or sequestration, storage. This is going to be the joker in the pack, in a manner of speaking, because carbon capture is today at around $40 per ton of carbon. Usage or storage, there is not enough use for the kind of carbon that will need to be captured, because steel produces 2.5 tons of carbon dioxide per ton of crude steel. So most of it will need to go to storage. In India, we need to find places where this carbon can be stored underground. So the geological formations of some of our areas have to be assessed appropriately. And at most of these places, we will need interventions from the regulator and the government. So Tata Steel, what it has done is it has created the pathway, and it has set the ball rolling to move on this pathway. A lot of these things you will start seeing unfold. And it is for Tata Steel now to announce. I should not be letting more of the cat out of the bag.
Okay, great. So great initiative by Tata Steel, and I'm sure other companies must be also following in their own way. They must be going on the journey of sustainability. Vivek ji, hello,
Yeah.
Vivek ji. What you have been telling us specifically what you have been doing in Godawari Ispat and Power about the sustainability. How do you propose to take journey forward?
Yeah, first of all, our target is to ensure that whatever CO2 emission norm is being set, we should not exceed. We have to be within that. That's one thing. For that, the major thing is the immediate where we are very, aggressive. That is the power generation source. Our power generation is through coal-fired boiler, through rice husk, and through waste heat recovery boiler. So recently we have commissioned 170 megawatt solar plant in Rajnandgaon, and then 122 megawatt solar plant in Bemitra. Now we are putting 2 more solar plant of 60 megawatt and 20 megawatt in Raipur area only. So first initiative is to become green power. Once we will have green power, because in steel making, as Mr. Sanjeev ji has rightly said, no commercial technology has matured, right? So when we talk about 1 million ton, 2 million ton, 3 million ton, 4 million ton, as such, no technology is available which can ensure that it is a green steel. So our immediate area of support is green power. If we can provide 100% green power to steel melting, then the CO2 emission which is happening because of the power generation will be addressed. So that's first thing. Then coming to the steel making technology, we have to see this blast furnace will be slowly outdated. Blast furnace is almost 2.3, 2.4 CO2 emission. It is doing it is one of the highest CO2 emitting. So we are mainly depending on now DRI and maybe scrap. If we can minimize use of DRI and we can maximize use of scrap, then definitely we can say that we are in green steel. It's a long way to go. But one thing we are very aggressively going for, that the power which is being used in the plant should be green power. Its CO2 emission will be zero. And in by 2027, 28, at least is going to be having that green, I'll say, emission from power.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Right?
Thank you, Vivek ji. And
Yeah.
see, when I read something about sustainability, I think you people correct me if I'm wrong, does not only deal with green steel or reducing carbon footprint. It also deals
Yeah.
with de-risking your business. What is sustainable? You have to create a sustainable enterprise. That means you have to reduce the risk of collapse. You have to reduce the risk of shutting down. So the de-risking the business, de-risking the enterprise is also part of the sustainability. So that de-risking consists of I would say technological aspect and financial aspect also. Sanjeev, what is your thought on this?
Yeah.
How do you see this?
Yeah, just to add, sorry if you can allow me,
Yeah.
on the same point. As far as that finance part is concerned, you see, we have already made our company a debt-free company. We are not having any debt. We are a cashless company. This company was having 2,500 crore debt 5 years back. Now we are sitting in 2,500 crore cash. So that finance risk has been eliminated. That's number one. Number two, management is very clear. Whatever plant will come, it will be 80-20. 80% will be source funded from internal sources, and maximum 15 to 20% will be taken from the market. So in that way, financially, we are very safe, very secure. Rather, I'll say the most cashless company in steel sector is Godawari Power Ispat Ltd.
Yeah.
So that area is very well taken care already.
Yes.
So nothing to worry about.
That is one part. The other part is the one part you have told financial de-risking. That includes converting hard loans into soft loans also. So you said you are debt company, so that question of the loan doesn't arise. Secondly, whether your crisis management system is in place, that is also one of the aspects of making the enterprise sustainable, making the operations sustainable. So that is another point.
Yeah.
We have lost Sanjiv Paul. I think his signal has gone. Sanjiv, are you there?
No, but I am here, but
Your
I
video.
think my bandwidth here is
Yeah, now it's okay. Now it's
my
okay.
bandwidth is challenged. So मैंने
Yes.
video off किया हुआ है so that I can hear what you are saying.
But now it is okay. We can see you, we can hear you, everything.
Okay.
So I was
Okay.
talking, I was asking you, how do you look at these things? Financial de-risking, technological de-risking, and crisis management system in place. Do these things also
So you
come
are
to
absolutely
sustainability?
right.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Sanjiv.
Ganesh, you are absolutely right. Sustainability is not just environmental
And
sustainability or
reducing
carbon.
carbon
It is a
footprint.
much more
Holistic term.
it is a
Yes.
much more holistic subject.
Yeah.
Sustainability, if you look at the English meaning of it, it is to sustain, to
Yes.
exist, to continue to exist. And you cannot continue to exist unless you're financially viable, you have the license to operate, your people want to work for you, you have. So there are stakeholders around who are looking to be with you and allow you to operate. So when Tata Steel looks at sustainability, it looks at it holistically, the way Ganesh you are mentioning. Let's begin with the license to operate. We are not. We just don't have a carbon footprint, high carbon footprint. We have a huge land footprint as well. We operate amongst people. Mining is a highly extractive industry. We have our mines. We use products from the mines. So we need license to operate within those societies, for which we do a lot of CSR. Tata Steel CSR is very well known. And it is well known much before the word sustainability became a jargon.
Yes.
So we have been doing something for the last 110 or 115 odd years, which has sustained us this long.
Yes.
Similarly, Vivek ji spoke about financial sustainability, and that is also extremely important. There are people who are busy in the company looking at doing that. But it is not just societal and financial. financial would lead to the shareholders and as well as those stakeholders also. It is, as you mentioned, crisis, disaster management philosophies as well. We have a very big safety program going in the organization to ensure that everybody who enters the gate goes back in one piece.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, steel is a highly hazardous industry, and people lose, a small mistake in an IT sector or in a lesser hazardous sector. A small mistake might mean a cut on your hand. Here, a small mistake means people lose their lives.
Yeah.
So you need various processes to ensure that the hazardous gases that you deal with do not create a situation which can be hazardous for the employees as well as for the society around you. The high temperatures, 1700 degrees centigrade is what we deal with.
Yes.
Liquids at those kinds of temperatures are contained, so there is no loss of containment of all of these things. So sustainability for us is holistic. It is the gamut of the entire business. It covers sustainability. Environment and climate and air and water are just one aspect of it.
Yes. In fact, to stretch it furthermore, if I have to invest in some company, I would see the health of top management people also. That also is part of sustainability.
Absolutely. So my portfolio for the first time at the vice president level became sustainability, safety, health, and sustainability. Safety first.
Yes, yes.
Health. And health is not the medical facilities that we manage. We manage one of the biggest hospitals in the eastern part of the country, Tata Main Hospital.
Absolutely.
But this was health of the employees.
Yes.
And the contracted employees.
Absolutely.
Right.
So sustainability is quite a holistic term as we see. It's not only reducing carbon footprint or, making hydrogen-based reduction process and all that. It is much holistic term, comprising of safety, comprising of financial de-risking, comprising of technological de-risking. You have to employ technologies, you have to employ equipments which are sustainable for a longer time. So that also comes under sustainability. As we discussed, sustainability is a holistic term. Okay. Now I want to ask you something, both of you. Now, company level, you are doing a lot of efforts. I agree. I can see in Tata Steel also, in Godawari Ispat also, Vivek ji has taken a lot of initiatives with respect to sustainability. May not be under the name sustainability, but they amount for the increase in de-risking the enterprise. So I would like to ask you whether we as an industry, whether we as an individual company need any policy support in this from the government, and what policy support is existing and what we would like to have more. Sanjiv? Sanjiv?
Chandekar, I lost you. What is the question?
I was asking, at individual company level and also at industry level, do we need any policy support from the government? And if at all there is any policy support now, what is that? And do we need more policy support?
From the government?
Yeah, from the government.
Absolutely.
Individually, I agree. A lot of companies are doing some way or other, some sustainability efforts. But policy also makes a lot of changes in the industry. So, what do you think?
So Chandekar, without governmental support, in fact, this has to be their program. It cannot be the program of a company.
Absolutely. There has to be set norm. Yes.
That's right. So from a steel industry point of view, the policy interventions that we kept advocating for, and I'll tell you in the order of importance, what is it that we were looking for?
Please.
The first thing that we were looking for was a taxonomy on what is green steel. These definitions should be well understood by all stakeholders, not just the steel manufacturers, but the financial guys who provide finance for the steel companies, the customers, and everybody else, the suppliers, everybody else. The taxonomy of what is green steel needs to be clear. The certification and eco labels around your product, that requires a regulatory, let us say, approval. Eco labels, there are various kinds of eco labels that exist. Those eco labels must have the sanction of the government. Okay. This is the first very important thing to kickstart the sustainability or the greening of the steel industry is concerned. The second most important thing, in my view, what was required is a price on carbon emission. Steel is a very carbon-intensive industry. Emits 2.5 tons as I've been speaking. Now, there has to be a concept of polluter.
We have that carbon credit system, no?
Carbon credit, it is not functioning since 2011-12 now.
Kyoto Protocol and all that.
The Kyoto Protocol is almost defunct.
Yes.
Much.
Yes.
So what we are looking for is the European Union kind of emission trading regime, where there's a price on carbon. The big changes on investments, even in Europe, happened when the carbon price started touching 90 to 100 euro per ton of crude steel. It is a scheme which is similar to the PAT scheme that exists in our energy sector, perform, achieve, trade. And I've been part of discussions with the Ministry of Steel and the Ministry of Power, the BEE, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, where they are looking to give some targets to steel industry. And that will raise the carbon pricing in India on a similar kind of a European Union and the PAT methodology. And my discussion with them is that you are being 2 lakhs, even by 2030. If you give these lakhs targets, the carbon price will not be even $5 a ton, which does not really motivate a highly capital intensive industry like steel to invest in newer technologies, the deep decarbonization technologies that we are talking about. So the second big regulatory support is an effective and accelerating carbon emission trading regime. Okay. The third big support that is required is creation of market. Government is a big buyer of steel. It has to allocate part of its buy to green steel. Green steel, as it will define in the first point that I mentioned. So if we have to just ask for 3 big regulatory supports, it would be these 3.
Okay. Great. That is, if there is some support from the policymakers, from the government, the process will further, accelerate. Vivekji, what is your opinion? What support do we need from the government? Or let us tell government, be aside, we will manage our things. Is it like that?
No, it's not like that. As Mr. Paul has rightly said, that we need government support. Without government support, it's not possible to sustain because it's totally ruled out. And government policies were very, very important. In Chhattisgarh, we are fortunate that we always get good support. As such, there is no drafted sustainability policy, but at all point of time, all the government are very supportive. Because if we see the time of Corona, when we talk about sustainability, now sustaining during Corona was a biggest challenge. It was also a very big crisis. So during that period, the policy of government was that all the steel plants, they should keep on running. No steel plant should be stopped, so that our worker, our labor should not go out of the state. And that was the time when most of the steel plants, they made huge profit. Not only made profit, rather they are out of debt. Out of debt. And they have been able to meet the requirement of all the labor. Then they have paid double, triple to the workers. And they realize that without worker, without labor, they are nothing. They are, because if workers are there, if laborers are there. So of course, there is no as such properly documented drafted policy, but if it is there, then it will be much better. It will be independent of the government who is ruling the state. Now it is government driven, individual driven. So, so far, all the policies, all the initiative taken by maybe central government or state government, they are beneficiary for the industry. And we hope the way our Prime Minister's leadership, he is very aggressive. And particularly steel ministry, if we see, they are talking about 500 million ton steel by 2030. 2030 तक 500 नहीं होगा तो 300 होगा. And all type of skill activities, all support they are extending. So for steel plant, I'll say ki it's a good support from the government for sustaining, and that is what the industry also expect, because it is a very big employer, very big this employee service provider industry. Because steel industry, if you see, the maximum employment is being provided. So they also have that seriousness, and we hope this will continue. And now let us see in Chhattisgarh what happens. At least there is a good ray of hope. Lot of approvals which were pending from last couple of months, they have started coming. So that is also part of sustainability. As we have rightly discussed, that sustainability is all about mate government policy, mate safety, mate risk, whatever it is. So in totality, we are in good time, and we will do much better, and not only sustain, rather we will excel in our industry, in our area of operation, and at national level. That's I feel.
Yeah, thanks, to Vivek ji. Like I feel, as there is for many states, there is a mineral policy. Chhattisgarh also, it has got its own mineral policy. Jharkhand has got its own mineral policy. I think Goa has got its own new mineral policy. Orissa has got its new mineral policy. Like that, we should have something like sustainability policy. Sanjeev, what do you say? At central
No,
level
I
and at
mentioned.
state level also.
So I know for sure that the government of Jharkhand has set up a cell.
Yeah.
Exactly with the point of view that you mentioned, which is because we are mineral rich in Jharkhand, we are mineral rich in Odisha, we are mineral rich in Chhattisgarh.
Yeah, that's
so
what.
These three states surely need a very strong sustainability policy. And as the entire bandwagon of sustainability rolls out, these three states will be seriously impacted, and they need to be prepared. Okay, because the impact of climate change will also happen to the poor the most, and these three states also have a lot of poor people. So a sustainability policy needs to exist, not just at the central level, but at the state level and at the municipal level too. As I mentioned, when you asked me explain why sustainability, I explained a very holistic view, a more philosophical view, and a view which is existential to mankind.
Absolutely, you're right.
So the people who govern, the people who matter, need to understand this well. Unfortunately, in India, it's going a bit slow. But if you see in the most part of the developed world, they are beginning to understand it. A bit too late for them, though, because they have been the biggest cause of the trouble that we are in. Yes. As far as emissions are concerned, we are not. But once the global warming happens, it will not see whether it is happening to the global north or the global south. We are one small planet, and all of us are part of it.
Yes. So thanks, Sanjeev, for your insightful and very holistic view about sustainability. Thanks, Vivek ji, for your actual on ground, what you are doing, and how is the journey of sustainability going on, your hands-on experience and your under your leadership. And also we discussed about what policy support or what governmental support we need for this sustainability wagon to go ahead. So thanks very much. If Paramjit would have been here, the Ministry of Steel would have got a ready-made, feedback from the industry, what what they should do about sustainability. Of course, he will. I will send a link of this program to him, and we will
Thank
see
you.
what can be done at the governmental level. But in any case, thank you very much, Sanjeev, and thank you very much, Vivek ji, for your insightful contribution. And I'm sure it will be. There are a lot of takeaways for from this discussion to a lot of other companies. And thank you very much. We stop here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you, Vivek ji.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks.